My name is Amy Ruza. I'm the Youth and Family Programs Educator at the Rockwell Museum.
Hi everyone, I'm Carly from CareFirst. We're really excited to have you join us today, virtually of course.
Hi, I'm Ann from the Rockwell Museum. Welcome to the Garden of Fire. We're going to be talking about using our senses to explore artwork.
We're excited to bring a fun art museum experience as part of the Garden of Fire program to your home. The theme this summer is exploring our senses, and we're going to explore the American landscapes in the Rockwell Collection, and we're going to use our senses to imagine what we might see, smell, touch, and hear. We'll also have activities and a special art project to connect to the senses we explore and to express our emotions and feelings.
We miss being able to see you in person, but we hope that you'll enjoy this just as much. We know how stressful the past few months have been. It's been that way for all of us. Today I want to show you how you can use your senses to help feel really calm and relaxed. This can help to relieve some of the stress and worry you may be feeling, or it can even help if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling frustrated, maybe overwhelmed, maybe even sad. First, we're going to take a few moments to do some deep breathing and to use our senses as we look at a piece of artwork. So first, let's get all your wiggles out. If you're sitting down, let's stand up. And the first thing you're going to do is we're going to shake out our feet. So you're going to roll your feet back and forth, and then shake out those legs. Shake, 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 shake your legs. And then maybe your hips. You're going to shake your hips out, shake the hips out. And then your arms, shake them all out. Really shake those hands. Do some shoulder rolls. Maybe roll your head. Are you feeling all good and relaxed? Good. Now let's take a seat and we're going to do some deep breathing. Now close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. You're going to do this a couple times. Now remember, when you breathe like you're filling up a balloon in your belly. If you put your hand on your belly, you should actually be able to push it right out when you breathe. So you're going to breathe in and breathe out. Now go ahead and do this a couple times. This will help us to feel calm and it'll help us to focus better. Keep your eyes closed and breathe with me a few times. Okay, now you can open your eyes and return to breathing normally. And let's look at this painting. It's by Albert Bierstadt, and it's called Nevada Fall, Yosemite. As you look at this painting, just keep breathing comfortably. We're going to warm up our senses. Think about this place as if you were there. What are the things that you would see? What are the things that you would hear? What are some of the things that you would smell or taste, or maybe even feel? If you'd like to close your eyes again to really imagine what it would be like, you can. Okay, you can open your eyes now. So how did that make you feel? Hopefully you feel a lot more calm and a lot more relaxed. Using deep breathing is a really simple thing that you can do pretty much anywhere to help you when you're feeling worried or feeling frustrated or any of those tough emotions that you experience. Now, you'll see in your supplies that you have a box with a lid on it. This is what mine looks like. Mine might look a little bit different than yours, but that's okay. They all can look a little bit different. This is called your S.A.F.E box. And it stands for Sensing All Feelings and Emotions. You can use this box to fill it with anything that you'd like that helps to engage your senses and to help you feel safe and calm. Later, Ann from the Rockwell is going to talk to you a little bit more about the different things that you can put in there. But you can also add your own things. Maybe you could add some blades of grass if you really love the smell of grass. Or maybe a worry stone with all the different ridges and lumps on it that you can feel and you can think and you can breathe to yourself. For me, this is my safe box, and I've got a lot of different things in here that are special for me that I like to use. So the first thing I have in here is some lemon essential oil. I love the smell of lemon. Second thing, I have a little sloth, because every time I see a sloth and look at them, it just makes me feel really happy. I also have a worry stone that has little different ridges and bumps on it, and I can rub it in between my fingers when I'm feeling stressed, and it really helps me to relax. One of my favorite things in here is this Dum Dum, and it's butterscotch flavor, and it's my absolute favorite. So sometimes I just eat one of these and it just makes me feel happy. Remember, you can put anything in your safe box. Anything at all that helps you to feel calm, safe, relaxed. Anytime you're feeling overwhelmed, you just pull out your safe box and you can look through all of the different things in it and use those senses. Maybe even you can use some breathing techniques like we tried before. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Carly. That was really great. Now you're all focused and you've been thinking about the painting and thinking about being in the painting. So take this white bag. It's called a sensory bag. There are some things in here that will really help us use our senses to connect more with the painting, kind of like Carly did, but with our physical senses. So let's open the bag and first take out this small bottle. So this is a bottle of essential oil. I want you to open the bottle, unscrew the cap, and smell it. Doesn't that smell good? So does it make you think of something in the painting? Or do you have a memory maybe that this oil makes you think of? The scent of the oil is pine. So in the painting you see some pine trees, right? And this can connect you, this smell of the pine oil can connect you to the pine trees in the painting. Maybe you've been camping or walking in the woods and you have this smell, this memory of this smell. Your sense of smell can really connect you with artwork and with the outdoors. So let's look at what else we have in the bag here. We have a small bag of rocks. So I want you to use your sense of sight now. Look at these rocks, look at the shapes and the colors. Look at the texture. Is it smooth? Is it bumpy? Look at the painting and think about what these rocks maybe resemble in the painting. Do they resemble maybe the rocks along the edge of the river? Or if you think maybe they resemble the cliffs in the background too, the colors and the way they're kind of rough cut and irregular. So the rocks are kind of an interesting connection as well. So the third thing, let's pull this out of your bag, this small brown bag. Now don't open it. I want you to use your sense of hearing now. So think about the painting as you're shaking the bag. You can shake it slowly, tip it around, and now shake it a little faster, kind of medium. Close your eyes and think about the painting. Do you feel yourself right there next to that rushing water? Can you feel the water on your legs? All right, so that's a way that you can use your sense of hearing to connect. One more thing in the bag, and that's this bag of green stuff. Do you want to touch it? Open the bag and let's take this out. Now, how does that feel in your hands? Pull it apart if you want to. It's kind of soft, smooth. Not really, it's more scraggly and rough. What does this remind you of in the painting? Maybe the moss that's on the rock, or even maybe the fir trees, the needles at the top. I wonder what this would feel like if it was wet, like maybe along the river, how sometimes the water gets up on the moss and it's wet. So you can take this and run it underwater and feel like what it feels like when it's wet. But first, I just want to thank you. So we have used 4 of our senses to connect with this painting, and I want you to remember that the next time you visit the Rockwell Museum, think about using your sense of smell, your sense of sight, touch, hearing, and even taste. Think about those things as you're looking at the artwork. Maybe the sculptures, you could think about how they feel. If you're looking at a landscape, close your eyes and think about what it would feel like to be there. Thank you again for doing this, and I want you to have great fun with Amy as she does a project with you.
Hello again, this is Amy from the Rockwell. I'm going to start by showing you a brightly colored landscape painting in our collection, Rock Creek Road by female artist Catherine McKenna. Let's look closely. What colors do you notice? Do you see all the colors? What shades of colors do you see? Are there teals, purples, oranges, and yellows? Does it look realistic? Maybe like a photograph of a place? Or are the colors more exaggerated to maybe invoke a feeling? Artists like McKenna play with color. She experiments with different colors to express different emotions. In this landscape, I interpret the colors to feel very exciting, energizing, and electric. I feel like I want to jump, run, and swim in the river to cool off. However, you may have a different feeling or reaction. Art can be interpreted differently by each of us, and that's okay. That's what makes looking at art together fun. We all have different perspectives on what we see. Keeping that in mind, let's keep looking. The way the colors are painted with all the different brush strokes also give different areas of land to appear to look like they have different types of texture. So, what textures do you notice? Do you see the long, sharp blades of grass painted along the bottom front of the scene or the foreground? Notice how big and tall the blades of grass are. Looking further back, up towards the middle, do you see an orange patch with plants? The brush strokes here are more visible. They're vertical lines. You'll see green interwoven with orange. And this gives the appearance of a dense area of land filled with plant growth. Now imagine walking through this patch of plants. How would it feel on your skin? Then, looking even further back at the mountain range, we see a sort of purplish, blotted, colored mountains. It appears to be smoother, and there may be exposed rock areas. There is less distinguishable texture because the mountains are further away in the background. Now let's examine perspective. Let's look closely at the blue river and the winding orange path. What do you notice about the water and the pathways? Do they disappear, or do they seem to go further away and deeper into the landscape? What I'm describing is called one-point perspective. It is a drawing method that shows how things appear to get smaller as they get further away. This is how things look three-dimensional on a flat surface. And there is always a single converging point. This is called the vanishing point on the horizon line. For example, the water lines are wider at the front by the river, and then the lines on the edges come closer together to meet at a point that touch. That's the vanishing point. How many vanishing points do you see in this painting? I see 3. The blue river lines meet by the trees about a third of the way up. This can be perceived as the river turning a bend. The orange path lines meet by the yellow hill in the middle, and the orange path appears to continue around the hillside. The fence and the trees in the distance meet at a point in the mountain range. The fence may continue, and there is most likely an abundance of trees in the forest. The trees get smaller as they are further away, and the colors become more blended. The artist McKenna, she uses the terms color, light, and spirit to describe the style of her painting. Her goal is to create the illusion of light by experimenting with color to capture the spirit of the place. It is not 100% realistic. Her work is more abstract. She paints to express her feelings and capture the essence of what makes this place special to her. She's inspired by the landscape scenes out west, summers spent in Wyoming and Colorado with her family. She specifically remembers searching for mineral deposits and dinosaur fossils with her father. Now, you're going to create your own fantasy landscape. Using your imagination and mixed media materials that I have laid out here, you're going to create your own place that you would like to visit. The place and scene that you design today can be real or fictional. It can be imagined. I'm going to ask you to use your imagination and think about who you might want to take with you to this special place. Your scene can take place on land, underwater, in the sky, in outer space, or perhaps another dimension. It's really up to what you think and what you imagine. So we have this blank 8x10 canvas in your kit. So we're going to start by sketching out your design on your canvas using a pencil or a colored pencil. And we talked about creating perspective by drawing a point. So you might want to draw a vanishing point, and you can sketch lightly. So I might want to do the horizon. Maybe that's going to be across that way. And I'm thinking I might want a river going up to my point. Once you've sketched out your design, and you want to try to sketch out the big elements first, then you can start laying down different colors and textures. And then you play with the materials. We have paints, we have pattern paper, materials, there's fabric, solid and patterned, we have glue. I think I'm going to add some greens down here. Maybe this is where the grasses are, maybe it's just a shading. I'm just adding some background color. I'm going to add a mountain range by adding some mountains up here. I think I'm going to add a waterfall going down this way, adding a waterfall in here. The felt is fun. This is kind of a fuzzy texture, but I'm going to use it for the sun. So I'm going to put a nice orange sun. I have a fabric. I love the texture of this fabric. It gives a different feeling. I'm going to add that in as well. I cut out this giant shell, and again, remember I said your scene does not have to be realistic. So I'm going to put a big giant shell right in the front here. Maybe that can resemble the place that I sit. It's really fun to think about what you might sense. So here is my fantasy landscape, and I imagine myself being there with my family. Once you finish creating your fantasy landscape, it's time to do some writing and reflect on it. So there is a little white piece of paper that's in your envelope. And what you're going to do is take a pencil and you're going to write about your imagined landscape. Where is your scene located and what makes it special to you? And remember to think about the senses that you experience. What are you hearing? What are you seeing? What are you smelling? What are you tasting? What do you feel in your landscape? After you finish your writing, place it into your special envelope and place your envelope into your safe box for safekeeping. When you're feeling down or stressed, or like you want to escape, find your box, open it, read what you wrote, and hopefully it can remind you of a special place that you created and make you feel positive. Then look back at your fantasy landscape creation. Maybe it has a burst of color, and it can help relieve stress that you're feeling in your life by connecting you and grounding you with nature.
Wow, we sure learned a lot today about our senses and about how we use them to create and to relax. Amy, Ann, and I all really hope that you enjoyed being with us today. Please don't forget to click the link in the description and tell us about what you thought about today.